The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, Sri Lanka tea auctions face sharp price declines amid IMF-driven SVAT implementation challenges. Port City Colombo recognized as Best Knowledge Zone in Asia Pacific, highlighting sustainable growth and investment potential. Sri Lanka stock market gains momentum with broad-based rally reflecting investor optimism. And Wall Street declines amid investor worries over ASEAN's impact on regional banks.
From Studio 24C, here's Prashansa Gunawardena.
Good evening and welcome to the Nightly Business Report. Sri Lanka's tea auction prices have plunged for the second consecutive week due to buyers cutting purchases amid upfront VAT payments. Industry officials warn this tax policy is causing financial strain on exporters and producers, impacting the wider export sector.
Sri Lanka's tea auction prices have dropped sharply for the second week in a row, falling over 100 rupees per kilo as buyers reduce purchases to avoid upfront VAT payments. The steepest declines were seen in high-grown ex-estate teas linked to regional plantation companies. Unsold tea catalogues have increased significantly, reflecting reduced buyer confidence. Exporters are struggling with the financial burden of paying VAT upfront, which is being passed down to producers as low prices. Officials hope the faster VAT refunds could help stabilize the market, but interest costs remain a major concern. The VAT policy is also affecting other export sectors, with fears it penalizes local input suppliers and undermines Sri Lanka's free trade zones.
The Sri Lankan government has introduced new regulations granting duty and tax exemptions on capital goods for key development projects, effective from the 15th of October 2025. These incentives now include renewable energy storage alongside sectors like dairy, pharmaceuticals, medical equipment and waste management. Eligible renewable energy projects must have a minimum capacity of 1 megawatt for generation or 1 megapotts per hour for storage. The updated policy expands the 2080 bonded warehouse scheme to promote green investments and sustainable industrial growth. This move supports Sri Lanka's goal to generate 70% of its electricity from renewables by 2030. The incentives will attract both local and foreign investors to the country's clean energy sector. Port City Colombo has been named Best Knowledge Zone Asia Pacific region and received a highly commended citation for sustainability in the Global Free Zones of the year 2025 by FDI Intelligence.
Port City Colombo was named Best Knowledge Zone Asia Pacific region at the Global Free Zones of the Year 2025 awards by FDI Intelligence, an arm of the Financial Times. The city also received highly commended citation for its commitment to sustainability. The recognition highlights Port City Colombo's growing status as South Asia's premium special economic zone. Its progressive regulatory framework and investor-friendly incentives were key factors in winning the award. The zone focuses on knowledge-based industries such as IT, professional services and logistics. Additionally, its dedication to green infrastructure and coastal resilience was praised for promoting sustainable urban growth.
Lanka IOC plc kicked off the September quarter earnings season, reporting a 17% rise in profits to 2.96 billion rupees despite a 4% decline in revenue to 70.36 billion rupees compared to the same period last year. Earnings per share increased to 5 rupees and 55 cents from 4 rupees and 74 cents, while half-year earnings dropped to 9 rupees and 92 cents per share from 11 rupees and 83 cents earlier. Revenue grew 13% from the previous quarter, driven by higher volumes amid improved mobility and economic activity. The company's share rose 2.49%, closing at 134 rupees. Operating profit surged 32% year-on-year to 2.5 billion rupees, supported by cost reductions and inventory adjustments amid falling global oil prices. Lanka IOC also holds significant investments worth 28.04 billion rupees as of September, down from earlier in the year, while earning 1.31 billion rupees in interest income. Let's take a short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Sri Lanka's stock market recorded modest gains today, reflecting cautious optimism among investors. Both major indices ended higher, supported by steady market activity. For further insights on this, we have Dilhari Dias from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Prashansa. The Colombo Stock Exchange continued the upward trend, primarily driven by high net worth investor interest in banking and blue chip counters. The all-share price index closed in the green at 22,634, gaining 218 points. High net worth participation was largely driven by approximately 40% stake change in Harish Chandra Mills. Additionally, modest retail participation was observed during the session. CT Holdings PLC, Harish Chandra Mills PLC, Cargill Ceylon PLC, John Keel's Holdings PLC and DFCC Bank PLC were among the top positive contributors to the index. Turnover for the day amounted to 11.3 billion rupees, reflecting a 57% increase from the monthly average of 7.2 billion rupees. The banking sector led sector-wise turnover with a 29% contribution, followed by the food, beverage and tobacco and diversified financial sectors, which collectively accounted for 38%. The top three gainers for the day were Harish Chandra Mills PLC, Asia Capital PLC and Hunters and Company PLC, whereas the top three losers were T Smallholder Factories PLC, UB Finance PLC and Asia Asset Finance Preference. Thank you.
Sri Lanka's stock market showed mixed performance this week amid varying investor sentiments. Market activity was influenced by both domestic developments and global economic factors. For further insights on this, we have Shahana Kanagaratnam from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Prashansa. The Colombo Stock Exchange opened the week on a firm footing, maintaining its upward trajectory for the most part, despite a brief pause midweek due to profit-taking. This temporary dip was short-lived, with market sentiment rebounding strongly by Thursday, allowing the positive momentum to carry through to the week's close. Investor activity remained robust, underpinned by healthy participation from both retail and institutional segments. Daily turnover consistently ranged between Rs 5 to 7 billion, reflecting a sustained confidence in the market. On the sectoral front, banking, capital goods and diversified financials attracted notable investor attention, contributing meaningfully to overall market gains and underscoring the market's current thematic focus. The onset of earnings season for the September 2025 quarter is expected to play a pivotal role in shaping market dynamics in the upcoming weeks. Given the favorable macroeconomic backdrop, particularly the lower interest rate environment, corporate earnings are anticipated to remain resilient, further supporting investor sentiment. Thank you.
Gold prices climbed to fresh record highs in Asian trading today, now approaching the $4,400 per ounce mark, as growing expectations of a Federal Reserve rate cut this month and renewed US-China tariff tensions drove investors towards safe haven assets. Spot gold rose 0.9% to $4,362.63 per ounce, after briefly touching a new peak of $4,379.29 earlier in the session. US gold futures for December jumped 1.7% to $4,376.91. Other precious and industrial metals traded today, even as the US dollar remained on the back foot. Silver futures edged 0.2% lower to $53.17 per ounce, while platinum futures dropped 1.2% to $1,732.60 an ounce. Benchmark copper futures on the London Metal Exchange slipped 1% to $10,545.20 a ton, while US copper futures declined 0.7% to $4.95 a pound. Oil prices fell to 5 months lows in Asian trade today and were headed for a week loss after US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin agreed to meet and discuss ending the Ukraine war. Brent oil futures fell 0.2% to $60.95 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude futures fell 0.2% to $57.36 a barrel. Both contracts were at their weakest level since early May. Brent and WTI futures were trading down between 2.5% and 2.9% this week and were headed for a third consecutive week in red. While gasoline and distillate inventories still shrank, the broad inventory build sparked some doubts over fuel demand heading into the winter season. The Sri Lankan rupee has depreciated further against the US dollar today compared to yesterday. According to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the buying rate of the US dollar has increased from 299 rupees and 15 cents to 299 rupees and 24 cents, while the selling rate has also increased from 306 rupees and 64 cents to 306 rupees and 76 cents. The Sri Lankan rupee has changed slightly against a basket of foreign currencies, while it has depreciated against Gulf currencies. Let's take a closer look on how the Sri Lankan rupee has performed against other major global currencies. Break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Dhammika Perera has acquired a 40% stake in Harishchandra Mills PLC for 2.57 billion rupees, marking his fourth major deal in 2025. This acquisition underscores his continued expansion across multiple sectors, including finance and real estate.
Prominent Sri Lankan businessman Dhammika Perera has acquired a 40% stake in Harishchandra Mills PLC, purchasing 778,946 shares for approximately 2.57 billion rupees. The shares were bought from Senthilwal Holdings Private Limited, investment arm of Harishchandra Mills, major shareholder Dr. T. Senthilwal. This marks Perera's fourth significant acquisition in 2025, highlighting his aggressive expansion strategy. In September, his firm Valuable One PLC and subsidiary LB Finance PLC announced plans to acquire a majority stake in Associated Motor Finance Company PLC. Earlier this year, Perera orchestrated the merger of Loves Holdings and Valuable 3 to strengthen his industrial influence.
Samsung Sri Lanka has launched the Go Save Today Carnival, a limited time promotion offering significant discounts on popular TVs, refrigerators, washing machines and room air conditioners. The campaign features price reductions on key models such as the 32-inch HD TV at 59,999 rupees and the 253L Inventor refrigerator at 149,999 rupees, alongside enhanced warranty benefits including 20 years on refrigerator compressors. Emphasizing accessible premium technology, the promotion aligns with Samsung's vision of meaningful innovation for all Sri Lankan families. Samsung has maintained its position as the global #1 TV manufacturer for 19 consecutive years, with its appliances known for durability and reliability. The promotion is available island-wide through authorized distributors and includes flexible payment options with leading credit cards. Sri Lankan Airlines has won the leading international airline in South Asia award at the South Asian Travel Awards 2025 for the third consecutive year.
Sri Lankan Airlines has won the Leading International Airline in South Asia award at the South Asian Travel Awards 2025 for the third consecutive year. The airline connects 33 destinations across 21 countries, including major cities in 5 South Asian countries, covering 3/4 of the region. Its comprehensive flight schedule and renowned hospitality make it a favorite among travelers. SATA, established in 2016, is a prestigious platform recognizing excellence in hospitality and travel through peer endorsement. Indranil Vijay Kon, regional manager, highlighted the award as a testament to the airline's commitment to excellence and regional connectivity. Sri Lankan Airlines also offers an authentic Sri Lankan in-flight experience with quality meals, entertainment, and convenient flight timings across its extensive global network.
Aviation Auto Private Limited had delivered the first fleet of KYC electric vans to Sri Lanka customers, marking a significant step towards sustainable commercial mobility. The ceremony took place at Aviation Auto's multi-brand after-sales complex in Paliagoda. As Sri Lanka's exclusive authorized distributor for KYC electric vans, Aviation Auto aims to help businesses reduce carbon footprints and cut operational costs by up to 100,000 rupees per vehicle compared to traditional fuel-powered vans. The KYC vans offer zero emissions, fast charging, and reliable performance suited for logistics, delivery, retail, and service sectors. The initial batch included vans delivered to Onesh Investments, Tropical Seeds Corporation, and Seiring, encouraging broad adoption of electric fleets among businesses and government institutions. MinPay has partnered with FitzAir to offer flexible, interest-free installment payments and instant cashback on air ticket purchases. This collaboration aims to enhance affordability and convenience for travelers while boosting FitzAir's customer loyalty and sales.
MinPay, Sri Lanka's leading payment platform, has partnered with FitzAir to provide flexible payment options for air ticket purchases. Customers can now split their ticket costs into 3 interest-free installments using Pay Later or choose Pay Now to receive a 3.65% instant cashback on each ticket. This partnership aims to improve the booking experience, making travel more affordable and convenient. MinPay CEO Urmila Chandrasekaram highlighted the collaboration opens new opportunities for customers to access air travel through MinPay's platform. FitzAir's Executive Director Ammar Qasim emphasized that the partnership supports their commitment to affordable and hassle-free travel.
Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Most Asian stock markets fell sharply on today, tracking overnight losses on Wall Street, where renewed fears over US regional banks rattled investor confidence, while Chinese shares led regional declines amid escalating trade tensions with Washington. Japan's Nikkei 225 dropped 1.3% after sharp gains in the last 2 sessions, set for a 1% weekly loss. The broader Topix index eased 1% for the day. China's blue chip Shanghai Shenzhen CSI 300 dropped 1.3%, while the Shanghai Composite Index fell 1%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index slumped 1.8%, poised to lose nearly 3% this week. South Korea's Kospi briefly bucked the regional trend, rising as much as 1.2% to a fresh record high of 3,794.87 points early in the session. Singapore's Straits Time Index lost 0.5% on track for over 2% weekly drop. Australia's S&P ASX 200 fell 0.8%. India's Nifty 50 traded largely flat. TSMC, the world's main producer of advanced AI chips, raised its full-year revenue forecast on a bullish outlook for spending on AI, after posting a record profit that blew past market estimates.
Wall Street's main indexes closed lower on Thursday, with the Dow and S&P 500 each dropping almost 0.2%, and the Nasdaq shedding just under 0.5%. Signs of weakness in regional banks spooked investors. Shares of Zions Bank Corporation tumbled 13% after the lender disclosed an unexpected loss on 2 loans in its California division. And shares of Western Alliance slumped nearly 11% after it said it initiated a fraud lawsuit against one of its borrowers. These added to jitters about commercial lending, sparked by the September collapses of U.S. auto parts supplier First Brands, and car dealership stocks on the move Thursday included Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, which slumped 10% after the technology company forecast annual profit and revenue below Wall Street expectations. Shares of J.B. Hunt jumped 22% after the trucking firm reported third-quarter profits. And shares of Marsh & McLennan dropped 8.5% after the insurer reported flat operating margins and slowing growth in its risk and insurance business.
Wall Street's main indexes closed lower as signs of weakness in regional banks spooked in investors. Shares of Zions Bank Corporation tumbled 13% after the lender disclosed an unexpected loss on 2 loans in its California division.
Chip giant TSMC posted a record-breaking third-quarter profit Thursday, up 39.1%, smashing market expectations. But looming U.S. tariffs could cloud its outlook. Riding the AI boom, the company reported a net profit of nearly $15 billion, marking its 6th straight quarter of double-digit growth. Demand for major players like Apple and Nvidia continues to boost its bottom line. The Taiwan firm says AI demand is still strengthening and is higher now than it had expected only 3 months ago. That follows similarly robust outlooks from other major tech players, including South Korea's Samsung and European chip gear leader ASML, a big supplier to TSMC. Despite the strong results, uncertainty looms. U.S. tariffs imposed by Donald Trump's administration weigh on the outlook. Still, TSMC is pushing ahead with a $100 billion U.S. expansion. That's on top of $65 billion already pledged for 3 plants in Arizona, 1 already operational. TSMC shares are up 38% this year, outpacing Taiwan's broader market, as investors so far shrug off the tariff risks.
That wraps up today's Nightly Business Report. We value your opinion. Share your thoughts and feedback with us through email at feedback.ad24english@then.lk, over WhatsApp at 076805793. We will see you again tomorrow with the latest updates in the business globe. Vinod Varnasuri will join you next with other Derana Sports Central. Until then, I'm Prashansa Gunawardana. Thank you for watching and have a good night.